Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. It's a lovely week. Anytime the Baltimore Ravens are in first place. We've not had a lot of that around here over 25 years, certainly getting up onto the pumpkin pie and Thanksgiving season. This guy's local. He does roofs. He's roofing by Elite, and Brian Lease is no stranger to the program around here. He's been joining us for a number of years talking about his Raven fandom, but I've known you a long time. I did not realize that you go to all the road games as well. You did not have the privilege that I had of waking up in Covington, Kentucky on Monday morning amidst Skyline Chili and Gold Star and every fast food restaurant on earth, but it is very, very heartening to wake up on a Monday morning and fly back from Cincinnati after a game like that. You say, well, why you get flat and watch a winless team play and whatnot? Well, you might see Lamar Jackson do something like that, right?
Yeah, that play was okay.
Well, I think after that, the defensive coordinators this week in Houston and next week Wade Phillips and down the line, I don't know how you defense that. I don't know how you coach that.
Well, I read a quote somewhere where Earl Thomas was questioned, like, okay, if you're defending Lamar on that play, how do you defend that? And he said, S word, you can't.
I was the one that asked him that question, so it's interesting
Wow, there you
that
go.
you bring that up. Yeah. It's the first time, honestly, I've seen Earl Thomas smile. Like literally, like he usually he's putting his hoodie on, and he's a little bit of an introverted guy, right? And spent so much time in Seattle and won champion. I mean, I don't know Earl Thomas well, but to ask a question where you can get Earl Thomas to smile, I mean, he smiled thinking about it. And I think even the defensive guys, when he's out there, are sort of watching a little bit. One of the points I brought up this week is we saw that play in real time. You and I are out in Cincinnati. We watched that. I'm in a quiet press box, and I tweeted right away that there were all sorts of sounds that you don't usually hear in a press box, from to wow, to laughter, to oh my God, to holy-ish, like all of that you hear. But in real time on television, no one was watching that, right? Like, it wasn't on Red Zone Live. It was just Ravens fans watching. And Lord knows the Bengals fans had turned it off by then. That there's something about it that makes you want to tune in when they're playing the Jets on a Thursday night, or certainly the Monday night game against the Rams 2 weeks from now. They're not going to be able to get Lamar Jackson off of live TV.
No, and I was explaining to a friend of mine yesterday that, watch out, next year we're going to be on prime time quite often.
Be some Tuesday morning flights out of Covington next
year. Yeah, I mean, it's like we enjoy our 1 o'clock games at home.
We do.
But that's going to change next year.
Well, and it might even change in December, right? I mean, we start flexing games out and moving games around and doing what they do. The exciting part of this, not just the winning part of it, but I think it's such a different kind of offense. It's such a different kind of thing they're trying to do. Putting 3 Heisman Trophy winners out on the field, that's all gaudy, but it's more gaudy when you pick up the sticks, right? Like being in 2nd and 2 and 2nd and 3 and living that way, it's a whole different kind of mindset about 8 and 9 minute drives in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely, and it goes back to what Harbaugh told us all, in training camp, that we were going to see something unlike we've ever seen before.
Revolution.
Nailed it.
Revolution.
He nailed it.
I want to get my Che Guevara, Lamar shirt. That's the one I want. I'm wearing the Lamarvelous. You've seen my Michael Jackson Thriller shirt. I had some fun with that in the Cincinnati airport. I'm going to be presenting Lamar with one of those. But the revolution and what this is. Last year, it looked like you're my age, right? It looked like the metallic game we used to play back in the 70s where, all the little pins would move in one direction, like the Navy offense. They clearly have over 8 months, and Greg Roman, I said on Sunday, it was like the Rush song, Red Barchetta. It was like he just took the purple car out for a ride on Sunday, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, you talk about what a difference an offensive coordinator makes. Greg Roman really deserves a lot of credit here. Obviously, Lamar is Lamar, and he's a special talent. But I think, obviously, Greg Roman is a perfect fit here. He's got this offense up and running. And to me, what I'm seeing, and I'm not a big X's and O's guy, but I'm seeing a unique game plan for each game. and it's being executed. So it's a perfect world here with Greg Roman and the players.
Well, they have a lot of plays and a lot of options, and let's be honest, after the ball is snapped, post-snap, no one on the offense really knows where the ball's going. They know where it could go. Mark Ingram knows he could get the ball. Lamar could keep the ball. Lamar could pull the ball back and find Hollywood downtown, right? So there's a lot of things that happen post-snap, and this is the hardest part. You're roofing by Elite. You trust guys to go out on roofs to do the work for you, right? And there's so many ways you can do a roof, and probably all these years you've seen it. You've seen every hole. You've seen every flood. You've seen every snow. You've seen everything there is to see. But at least you know going in, before you start the job, you have a whole strategy. This offense isn't that way. This offense, and from a management standpoint, the fact that Harbaugh, Greg Roman, they call a play and they still don't really know where the ball is going to go, defenses are going to have a harder time with that because the offense, 8 guys on the field, when they get up after the play, they're like, oh, did he hand it off, or did, who came through the hole with the ball? I mean, Mark Ingram talked about if he had a GoPro in his helmet for that Lamar Jackson play, that he's never seen anything like that in his life. Marshall Yanda's been in the league 14 years. He's seeing stuff he's never seen before.
No, it's pretty incredible. And in addition to all the defenders that are having a tough time figuring out who has the ball, where the ball is going, who else has the toughest time is the poor cameramen. They can't keep up with this. They just can't.
Yeah, the ball fake eats them up. There's no doubt about that. Brian Lease is here.
So many mistakes.
Yeah. The ball's one way and the camera's going another way. I think anyone that's good at hiding the ball and the magic ball trick, they fake the cameraman out once, and the cameraman sits right next to me up in 513. Roofing by Elite, Maryland's most trusted roofer, I should say. Man, this is a great day to be talking to you, right? As the weather starts to turn, we lose 30 degrees in a couple of hours on Tuesday. This is where shingles and roofing and tops and leaks and the shrinkage and the cold and the heat and 120 in the summer. Now it's going to be 20 overnight tonight. Some thoughts about roofs and what you do, because this is where people start to scream at you, right? This is where you get the emergency calls the first time a little water comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. So much in the way that Lamar Jackson exposes defenses, this winter weather is going to expose your roof. So this is a perfect time, to give us a call, and we can come out and take a look at what you have and get you prepared for the winter, and hopefully, buy you some time for maybe a roof replacement, in the spring. This is it. This is the time. Leaves are falling.
I like to tell people that you're like local. You're like an Overly Rosedale guy. Honestly, you've been on every roof, right? I grew up, over in Colgate, East Point area, with a little flat roof, little homes that were built in the early 1950s. I moved out to White Marsh, and I had all sorts of roof and slanted roof and 3 floors and all that. That home was built in the late 90s. I mean, I would think all of these different types of residential roofs, there are a lot of different types of things you see. Every one of them's probably its own unique thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have so many different unique situations out there, different houses, sizes, pitches. I mean, you got steep roofs, flat roofs. We take care of everything.
Brian Lease is here. He is roofing by Elite. I'm going to give you the phone number, 301-937-4846. Ravens season ticket holder, goes on the road every week with the team. Maryland's most trusted roofer, going on 20 years now. You get a free roofing estimate. You give Brian a call. He does roofs anywhere in the Baltimore area. Give him a ring. He will find you out there. You're going to find L.A. next week. You go on the road, and I go on the road. My wife seems to keep skipping the Cincinnati trip. I think it's something about the Skyline Chili. I'm not sure. Now that Marvin's not there, and it certainly felt like they could use Marvin Lewis. But last year, going to Carson Christmas week, that was an amazing thing, playing in that little pinball machine out there. And Lord knows, you want to see the Chargers 5 years from now, you probably have to go to London to see them. I can't imagine that L.A. thing's going to work. But we're both going out to L.A. week before Thanksgiving, going out there. I am really, really excited about this. I saw Springsteen play 2 shows at the Sports Arena. They ripped that down. That was in the parking lot in L.A. I get around. You were out in Seattle a couple of weeks ago. That was my second visit out there to that stadium. I'm a stadium freak. You know that. The baseball tour I did back in 2015. I still haven't been to the new Atlanta baseball ballpark since they opened that. But going out and checking out the L.A. Memorial Coliseum, I mean, we're talking Super Bowl one. We're talking all sorts of crazy stuff, right? And I'm really looking forward to this more so than maybe any regular season football game I've been to in a number of years. Because, like, the Atlanta Dome last year and Minnesota and whatever, they're cool and they're neat, but there's something about going to a 100-year-old stadium that I've never been to that's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to take in all the history. I'm going to get there a little bit early, walk around, take it all in. But most importantly, I'm looking forward to the Ravens beating the crap out of the Rams.
I hope they wear their white unis. I want a little Roman Gabriel, Jack Youngblood look when I see them. I want Deacon Jones. That's the jerseys I want. I don't want them wearing like the yellow and blue, the St. Louis or the Vince Ferragamo. I want to go back 60s Rams. That's the uni I want on. I think on Monday Night Football we'll get that, right?
I think we will, and I'm ready for it. It's going to be a big matchup. I mean, they're going to pump it up only because it's the LA market, I think that's why our game, with the Texans didn't get flexed because of the Rams, Bears coming up. But we're going to be on national TV one way or the other.
I want to see Hollywood and the other Hollywood. I had completely forgotten. I asked him the dumbest question I've asked an athlete this century. I asked him when they were going down to Miami, I'm like, now which town are you from? He looked at me, he's like, Hollywood, man. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Should have gotten that one. But this is the other Hollywood. He was Hollywood, Florida, where they have a lovely boardwalk, and I know you experienced that when you went down to Miami a couple weeks ago. Brian Lease, he travels all the road games. I'm wearing my purple. He's wearing his purple. We all got purple fever and Lamar fever. He can get on your roof and do it. Residential, commercial, wherever it is in the Baltimore area. Roofing by Elite, Maryland's most trusted roofer. Find them at roofingbyelite.com. Hey, man, rest up. Towel off. I'll put you on the bus to New England in January, okay?
Let's do it, man. Thank you.
Brian Lease, Roofing by Elite, joining us here at WNST, one of our great local sponsors. We got nothing but local going on. We're up in Aberdeen on Tuesday night. We will be joined by Josh Bynes, who's got a Ravens ring from the last time around. And you know what? This is going to be a big deal because I never got to give Josh Bynes a copy of Purple Rain 2. So I am going to present him with an honorary copy of Purple Rain 2. We're going to swab him for the Bone Marrow Registry for There Goes My Hero on Monday night up at Adams Jeep as well, because we've never done that. So I'm excited about all this. We got Matt Skura at Jennings Cafe this past Tuesday night. And Baltimore Positive, everywhere you are at BaltimorePositive.com, as well as in our morning newspaper. We've added video, we've added audio, we've added Luke's blogs, we've added my blog on Lamar Jackson and the Thriller. You can subscribe each and every morning. You'll get it at 7 a.m. It's all brought to you by our friends at Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com. It's always $5 down and $10 a month at Planet Fitness. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports.